I don't know, man. Recently, I've been feeling like such a freaking failure. Like, I've been feeling like a failure at everything. And I am a failure, and I'm not a failure. But you have to fail to get better at something. But when you just keep failing, like, it's easy to live in a world of just complete optimism. But when you're consistently failing, it weighs on you, man. Like, I don't think anyone can ignore the dread they feel when they fail at something they're trying to do. Like, and when you keep failing, when it's continuous, like, eventually it just gets so almost like debilitating. Like, let me just say what the fuck happened. Like, let me just say what happened. So I had ballet practice, I had ballet class, and I was on my period, and I had a really long night. Like, my head was hurting so bad. You know your head hurt when you, like, when it hurt when your head hurts so bad that it wakes you up in the middle of the night. Like, I was having one of those kind of headaches. So I wasn't even sure if I was gonna be able to go, but I really, 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 really wanted to go because I told myself I was gonna go despite how much despite how bad I physically felt. I said I wanted to go. And I woke up early. Well, I got enough sleep first, so that was good because I usually don't before class, but I got enough sleep. I woke up, my head was still hurting, but not as bad. I got dressed, I packed some snacks, cool. And I went to class, and I was actually having a pretty good time on the way there. Like, the streetcars were running pretty smooth, people were speaking to me and being nice. So, like, I was actually feeling really good, and on my way there, I was very proud of myself for getting up and going despite physically feeling drained and tired. When I got there, somebody again gave me a compliment. So, like, I was feeling good. But when I got in the building, when I got in the class, I wasn't even doing that bad, but like, I've done worse. Like, I don't even know like what my mood was today, because I know for a fact I've done extremely worse than I did today. But for some reason, I just felt like I was just boo-boo. Like, I felt like I was so poo and so whack. But I got in class and I was doing it, and I was behind. But I mean, that's nothing new. I just started, whatever. But as the class went on, I just started to feel bad about myself. Like, I was literally picking myself apart. Like, oh my God, you look like this, you look like that, this, that, the third. You're not doing this right. I saw my leg in the mirror. My leg was not straight at all. And I just started telling myself all these negative things. And I'm gonna cry right now thinking about it. Because it was really just me. Like, yes, it's people in the class who, like, may be shady and stuff too, but they're always shady. And usually I could just, deal with it. But today, like, I don't know. I'm going to contribute a lot of it to my period, though, because last week I had a great day at class, and the teacher even told me, like, I do a good job. But this week I was like, I started giving up. Like, I wasn't even trying towards the end, and I was just getting really overwhelmed, and I ended up leaving like 20 minutes early because I was overwhelmed. And this is the first time I've ever left class early. Like, despite how hard the class may be, I always stay to the end, especially because most of the time I get there like 10 minutes late or 15 minutes late. So I always stay to the end. But today I was so overwhelmed that I just had to go. Like, I couldn't do it. I was tired of failing. Like, I wasn't doing good. And today the class was pretty hard. Like, it was definitely for the more advanced dancers. So it was twice as hard for me to keep up today, on top of the fact that I feel bad. And yeah, as soon as I walked out the class, though, like, somebody else complimented me, but I was just so overwhelmed. I mean, of course, I said thank you. I laughed and I smiled and stuff, but I was so overwhelmed. I really didn't even process it. Like, I just walked out the building and I started crying. And I started crying because I felt like a failure. Like, I felt like a failure because I didn't finish the class. So I was overwhelmed with the class, which is why I left, because I felt like a failure while in the class. But then I felt like an even bigger failure for leaving early and not just pushing through. Like, I was so, like, upset with myself for that. And I don't know, I want to cry. I'm still getting emotional about it, and I don't know why, because I can understand that I'm not a failure, and it was just a moment. And I'm not the first person to leave out of, a dance class or a music lesson crying. So, like, I don't even have to beat myself up about it. But for some reason, I just felt like a failure. Like, I just felt like I wasn't good enough. And I've been feeling that way a lot recently. And I really do want to attribute it to my period, because when my period is on, I will find something to be emotional about. Like, I will find something worth crying about while I'm on my period. But I don't know. Recently, I've been feeling like a failure at everything. And it's because I've been doing new things that I'm not necessarily skilled in, areas I'm not skilled in. I've I've started to do a lot of things that I'm not skilled in. I'm not skilled in ballet. So ballet is extremely hard for me right now, especially with the type of class I'm taking where there's people that's very much more advanced than me and can follow along quite easily while I am 2 or 3 steps behind. Learning the guitar and the bass and really any instrument, but those are the main instruments I'm on. But learning instruments and learning to play instruments is extremely challenging. You know, I recently got back into writing and I'm trying to write a script for something and it's a challenge. And I know I'm just being hard on myself right now, but I just feel, it just feels like the goals are so big and I'm so far away from achieving them that it's, a little discouraging. And I have a problem with, I actually have a problem with being maybe foolishly confident about what I can do because, like, for instance, with the guitar, like, I don't want to put on a beginner video, you know what I'm saying? Because I get bored, even though I barely could do the beginning, you know what I'm saying? I could barely do the beginning tutorial or the beginner tutorial, but I don't want to do that. I want to put on a video of Jimi Hendrix playing or D'Angelo playing the guitar and try to mimic them. Now, that's not a problem, but realistically, I've only been playing for a year. D'Angelo and Jimi Hendrix have over a decade on their hip, you know what I'm saying, in their fingers. So I guess that's what I mean when I say sometimes I'm foolishly confident in myself. And maybe even I'm setting myself up for failure because to put on a Jimi Hendrix video and think that I'm going to just start playing like Jimi Hendrix is foolish. It is foolish. But that's how I feel on the inside. And I know, like, I just need to translate it physically. But actually manifesting it is harder. And since I've been trying all these new things and failing at them, it's making me realize why it's easier to just not do anything. It's a lot easy. It's way less pressure to not do anything and just kind of rely on the fact that you could if you wanted to. Like, that takes the pressure all the way off. Like, yeah, being an artist would be cool, but I'm just not in that space in my life right now. But if I wanted to, I could. Yeah, being a dancer would be cool, but, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. But if I wanted to, I could. Like, oh, that doesn't look that hard. I'm sure I could do that. Like, sitting in that is a lot less stressful than trying and failing, even though it's not fruitful. It's not fruitful. You do get fruit from trying and failing. You learn and you gain experience and you understand on a deeper level. You gain wisdom. You gain resources even. But when you don't try, you gain nothing but the false comfort of, I can if I wanted to. I could if I wanted to. But you don't because you can't. And even though today, seeing myself continuously fail made me overwhelmed and I cried and, I was emotional, I don't miss the feeling of the false comfort of waiting for the future. Because it never comes when you do stuff like that. Oh, well, I'll do it in this year. I'll do it this month. Well, I'll do it when the economy's better. I'll do it when Trump isn't the president. I'll do it after I finish my graduate program. I'll do it when, all of these things, like, it's a false comfort. It's a false comfort. It's not real comfort because it's comforting in the moment, but you're left with the feeling of inadequacy still. At least trying and failing, at least you try. Like, I don't know, that's all I can tell myself today. Like, I cried for maybe 10 minutes, but after I cried, I went in the store, I got some croissants. I had been craving croissants for a couple days, and I went to a new store I had been really wanting to go to, a new grocery store. So I went in the store, I walked around, I found some really good looking croissants, and I told myself, like, it's okay to cry. Like, I don't have to now be, disappointed in myself for crying because I felt overwhelmed, because I felt like, I don't have to keep the cycle going. I can stop it. It's okay that I cried. It's fine. I can move on and I can still try. Like, towards the end of me crying, I was like, are you going to give up? And I was like, no. And then I was like, okay, so are you going to go to class next week? And I was like, yeah. And I was like, so what the fuck are you crying about? But it's so weird because it's like, there's two sides. Like, and I'm telling myself this as I'm crying. I'm like, what the fuck are you crying about? But also, like, I feel pain. I feel the pain of not being good enough while simultaneously understanding that even though I might have failed in this moment, I still overall am doing better because I tried. In the past, I would have never dared to go to a ballet class. Literally, like a year ago, I wouldn't have thought I would be in ballet. I wouldn't have believed it, because I was so far from that reality. But even the fact that I get up and I go to a class where I'm clearly behind, where I'm 2-3 counts behind, where I am completely unknowledgeable in what's going on, and I stand next to people. Some of these people are professional dancers. They're paid dancers. And I'm standing next to these people, looking a fool as confidently as I can. But the fact that I will even try, it counts for something. I don't know what it counts for, but it counts towards something. It counts towards the experience that I'm gaining. And even though I felt like a failure, and even though while I was crying, I never wanted to do it again, I literally, like, in the back of my head was like, there's going to be a day. There's going to be a day where all of this is going to matter, and everything I'm learning in this class is going to get used. Because truthfully, right now, like, I'm not using ballet for nothing. Like, I'm not a professional dancer. I don't want to be a professional dancer. Yeah, I just did it because I feel like I need to do it. Literally, I just did it because I feel like I need to do it. It's no specific purpose. I'm not training. I'm not trying to go to Juilliard. I'm not, trying to be on Broadway. It's for a reason, but I don't know the whole reason yet. But at this moment, it is not benefiting me in any external way. It's benefiting me internally, but externally, it's not helping me in other areas of my life. But in the middle of me crying, I was like, I know there's going to be a day where all of this matters, where I'm going to use the things that I learned in this class, where I'm going to use when these techniques are going to help me, despite how bad I am at them right now. And even if I never perfect them, the knowledge of it that I do have will be used eventually before I perish. And that made me feel a little better. But I guess what I'm really trying to get at is we have to fucking fail. Like, I talked about this too in my first YouTube videos, and I was like, people try to get around the system. They try to cheat the system, but you have to go through the system in order to go through it. And I feel like I'm experiencing now what I was really talking about then. And it's manifested in this ballet class, and in me trying to learn guitar, and in me trying to learn other mediums of art. It has expressed itself because now I'm trying to physically go through something, which is my ballet lessons, and it's hard. It's easier to just be like, yeah, I could do ballet if I wanted to, but it's actually so extremely hard. And I can't cheat my way through it. I can't cheat my way through ballet. I have to just know the positions. I have to just know to keep my toes pointed. I have to just know to keep my spine straight. Like, I can't cheat it. I just have to do it. And me being overwhelmed and feeling like a failure is not a sign of weakness or even a sign of not being good enough. It's a sign that I am trying, and that should be recognized for something. It should be accounted for. I shouldn't push it off on the back burner. And that's where I was going. I was going down the self-pity route. Oh my God, you're crying over ballet. Like, oh my God, it's not even that serious. Oh my God, and I felt myself wanting to be that way with myself, because that's usually how I am. Like, oh my God, you're crying. You're so weak. You're so this, you're so that. It's not even that serious. It's not even da-da-da-da. Like, why are you doing all this? Like, you're such a whoop-de-whoop. That's why you couldn't do it. No, just continuing to beat myself up when I'm already fucking down, but that's what most of us do. But instead, I let myself cry. I let myself cry. And when I was finished crying, I asked myself, I said, okay, are you going to give up? No? Okay, well, hey, it's cool. It's okay. People cry sometimes, It's okay. And one of my favorite musicals, Jazz, All That Jazz, I think that's the name of it. It's either Jazz Straight or All That Jazz. I think it's All That Jazz. But in that musical, it's about a Broadway director, I believe, or something, a musical director. And he is, in the opening scenes, he's auditioning for their up-and-coming play, for their up-and-coming musical. And he picks this girl who is very pretty and very beautiful, and she has the look of a dancer, but I think she was the worst dancer on stage. And his bosses were like, why the fuck did you pick her? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, why would you pick her? She barely can dance, but she had the look, And later on in the musical, they're in rehearsal trying to rehearse for the number, and she keeps messing up, and he keeps making her redo it. He's like, no, do it again, to the point where he starts like yelling at her, like, do it, like, like, bitch, do it right. And she started crying. And when she started crying, like, she just ran to the back of the room and started crying. And he was like, look, I'm not trying to hurt you or like, break you down. I want to make you the best dancer you could be, but you have to be willing to put in the work. And then, she wiped her eyes, and all the dancers was clapping for her, and she started back trying, and eventually she was as good, or at least close enough to her peers to where she could be in the musical. But when I was crying, that's all I thought about. That's all I thought about, was like literally her like breaking down in the middle of the class and crying. At least I didn't cry in class. You know what I'm saying? I walked out, I got about a block away, then I started to cry. Then I started to fucking cry. Okay? Or even I watched Legally Blonde like 2 days ago. And I don't know, something was just telling me to watch Legally Blonde, because that was always one of my favorite movies. I love Legally Blonde, like, as a kid, but I haven't seen it in years, like probably like Girl, I don't think I seen Legally Blonde since I was like 16. I'm 24, you know, so it's been a long time. But something was telling me in my spirit to just watch Legally Blonde. So I watched it. And that is a beautiful movie. Like, Legally Blonde is a beautiful, beautiful, well-written movie. Because Elle Woods faced nothing but adversity throughout that whole movie. And you would think because she was a rich, skinny, white woman that she couldn't possibly have any problems in her life or have any adversity to face. But throughout the whole movie, everywhere she turns, people were disrespecting her, demeaning her, and calling her stupid, literally to her face. They were like, "You're not smart," to her face. And at the end of the movie, she graduated from law school, one of the highest GPAs, with a fucking internship at one of the most prestigious law firms, or a job, one of them, lined up right after graduation. And she won a law case, a murder trial case that her professor was on. He couldn't solve it. So the clients fired him and hired her. Mind you, she's still a law student. She's not even a fucking lawyer yet. She's a law student. And this woman is on trial for murder. She had more faith in Elle Woods as a law student than her assumed lawyer, who was also a professor at Harvard Law School. She had more faith in Elle Woods, who everybody was saying was stupid. And I realized that I'm Elle Woods because I keep going into these spaces where people are telling me I'm not good enough. Now, everyone's not telling me that, but many people are. Many people are hinting at that. You know, they might not, and that's a movie too. So, you know, for people to just be calling her stupid in her face, I mean, it's a movie. So are people just in my face telling me, "Girl, you terrible"? No, but we all understand context clues. We can all read the room. We can all, you know, I know shade. I say this all the time. You're not going to outshade me, okay? Because I know what shade is. Like, and you're not going to gaslight me into thinking you're just making a joke. You're just being funny. You're just being cute. It's not that serious. I am a palm tree, okay? You're not going to shade me and I don't know. So even though people aren't directly in my face saying like, "You're stupid and you're bad at this and you're lame and you're trash," the feeling is there. The energy is there. And I think that's part of the reason too why I've been overwhelmed, is because it's like, it's not just my own emotions. There's actually people in the world saying like, "You're not good at this," or insinuating that you shouldn't be doing this. This is not for you, you know? And that's a lot to carry. It's a lot to carry. But to finish that, I'm Elle Woods. I'm Elle Woods. Okay. I'm a bad bitty and everybody just be hating on me for no reason. People have problems with me who I've never spoke to or who I've never said anything bad about or I've never even thought about. There's people out here who have problems with me and I've never thought about them. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, Elle Woods came up on top. So I'm saying all this to say, yeah, I cried. Yeah, this, yeah, that. Yes, I feel like a failure. But Elle Woods came out on top and I am Elle Woods. Like, I am Elle. You know what I mean? And if nobody want to fuck with me, that's okay. Because I'm starting to realize I don't even really like the people around. Like, you know, I was so caught up in trying to meet people or appease people or whatever, or prove myself. I was so caught up in trying to prove myself that I realized that I'm trying to prove myself to people who ain't got shit worth proving to. Like, first of all, I don't have to prove myself to anybody. So we can start there. But secondly, these people ain't shit. Like, they don't have nothing on me. You know, like, they don't have anything on me. And I mean that with financially, artistically, creatively, my heart. These people don't even have the heart that I have. You know what I'm saying? They're not even good people. So I don't know. Like, I've just been too caught up in the world. And that's why I'm starting to feel like a failure, when I know internally and spiritually that I need to do these things. You know, I'm pretty sure the people around me are looking at me like, "What the fuck are you doing in ballet?" I dropped out of college and now I just randomly started taking ballet. That's weird. It is weird. I dropped out of college. I randomly started taking ballet, but I don't want to be a professional dancer. That sounds backwards as hell. It does, but I don't care. It doesn't have to make sense. I have a master plan. I've been saying that since I got done crying. Like, this is all a part of my plan, but I don't have the complete layout. Okay. I feel like Dora the Explorer on some shit. Like, I'm on the fucking quest. You know what I'm saying? So it looks stupid because I'm walking far as fuck. I'm thirsty. I'm hungry. I'm tired. My clothes are ratty. But I'm just walking and I'm walking and I'm walking. And everybody trying to tell me, "Hey, we got water over here. You know, just be a bitch and we'll give you some. Hey, we got food and clothes over here. Just lose your morals and your character. You can come kick it with us. Hey, we got shelter. If you just don't be a good person." You know, everyone's on the side of my path trying to get me off the path and tell me that they have what I need. And I don't have to walk this long ass path, but I have a map, okay? And my map tell me that the real gold is over here. And the gold is metaphorical. It's not physical gold, obviously. But it's telling me that what I need is at this destination, and I have to take this journey to get to it, even if it does not make any fucking sense, even if I am not good at, even if I'm tired, even if I'm dehydrated, even if I'm broke, even if it's not working, even if I'm confused, even if I'm crying, and even if I feel like a failure, I have to walk on this fucking path and follow this plan, this master fucking plan, follow this map that I have. No one else has this map but me, so nobody knows where the fuck I'm going but me, you know. But yeah, I've been sad recently. I've been been sad. I've been sad as fuck recently. I have. But I don't give a fuck, bro. I'll be popping my shit next week. Like, it don't even it don't even matter. I feel better already. I'm glad I cried. I'm glad I let I'm glad I'm learning to give myself space to be emotional and sad. You know, I just got done before I started recording this. I was watching a girl's TikTok and she was talking about how she cannot cry. Like, when she's sad and she wants to cry, she can't cry because the emotion won't come out. Like, she said she'll have to put on music, or like something really, really bad will have to happen to her for her to cry. And while she said that, I realized how much of a blessing it is that I can even cry and comfort myself. You know, the fact that I can even cry and I can feel emotion, I can acknowledge that I was overwhelmed, and I can acknowledge that I feel like a failure, and I can acknowledge my sadness, and then in the next breath, comfort myself and tell myself it's okay and regulate myself. That is a blessing. And that's something I was not always able to do. I used to not be able to cry. I used to bury my emotions so far down in the pits of hell of myself that I couldn't tell you how I felt. That used to be me. And I didn't even realize how much growth I've had until I seen her video and until I listened to her talk about not being able to express sadness. You know what I mean? So, fuck it, man. The croissants were fucking delicious. I came home. I ate some Oreos because I've been wanting Oreos. And instead of beating myself up about one Oreo, I got the fucking Oreos, man. I got the fucking Oreos, man. And I dipped them in some organic almond milk, and they were fucking delicious. And then I made myself a fucking breakfast sandwich with the croissants I just got. It was fucking beautiful. It was a beautiful fucking sandwich. And even though I cried earlier, and I cried right now while recording this, and I may cry tonight if I think about it too hard, even though I felt like a fucking failure for most of the day, I'm happy, and I'm blessed, and I'm grateful, and I'm thankful to be exactly where I'm at right now.